If you're over 60, picture this for a second. You eat what seems like the perfect healthy dinner. Maybe a salad, maybe some steamed vegetables, maybe a plate that makes you feel proud because you know you made the smart choice. Then, the next morning, something feels wrong. You wake up dizzy, your head feels heavy, your words feel a little slower, your body feels weaker than it should, and you cannot quite explain why. Most people assume the only foods that cause problems are the obvious ones: fried foods, processed junk, sugar, too much salt. But that is not always how it works, especially after 60. Sometimes the problem is not that a food is unhealthy. Sometimes the problem is that your body no longer handles that food the same way it did 20 or 30 years ago. That is what catches so many older adults off guard. A food that helped you at 40 may affect you very differently at 60, 70, or 80. Kidney function changes, digestion changes, hydration becomes more fragile, blood vessels become less flexible, blood sugar is often less stable, and once medications enter the picture, even a healthy food can start behaving in ways no one warned you about. That does not mean vegetables are bad. It does not mean you should fear food. It means your body now plays by different rules, and if you do not understand those rules, you may be doing something every week that sounds healthy on paper, but works against you in real life. So in today's video, we're revealing 9 common vegetables that older adults should be more careful with, especially when it comes to timing, portion size, hydration, and medication interactions. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to keep eating them in a safer, smarter way. Stay with me until the end, because the last one is something many seniors eat every single week, and it may be the one most people misunderstand the most. Let's begin with a vegetable that almost everyone sees as a health hero, but after 60, it may need more caution than people realize. Vegetable number 9, spinach. For years, spinach has been praised as one of the healthiest foods on Earth. It's loaded with nutrients, antioxidants, and plant compounds that support overall health. And in many ways, that reputation is deserved. But after 60, spinach becomes one of those foods where the details matter more than the label. The first issue is vitamin K. If you take blood-thinning medication like warfarin, your body depends on consistency. Not perfection, consistency. If one week you eat a lot of spinach and the next week you eat almost none, that can complicate how your medication works. And many people do not realize that until they are already dealing with unstable blood tests or unusual symptoms. The second issue is oxalates. Spinach is naturally high in them. That may matter more if you have kidney problems, reduced kidney function, or a history of kidney stones. In younger adults, this is often less of a concern, but after 60, your kidneys may not process everything as efficiently as they once did. Now, that does not mean spinach is dangerous. It means spinach is not a free pass. It means it should be eaten intelligently. If you enjoy spinach, the safer approach is to keep your intake steady instead of going from 0 to huge portions. Earlier in the day may also be easier for some older adults than heavy spinach-based dinners late at night. And if you have kidney disease, take anticoagulants or use calcium-related supplements. This is one of those foods worth discussing with your doctor. Spinach can still be a very healthy part of your routine, but after 60, healthy foods still need rules. When you respect those rules, they help you. When you ignore them, they can quietly create problems you never saw coming. Vegetable number 8, broccoli. Broccoli is another vegetable with a powerful reputation. It's rich in fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients associated with long-term heart and immune support. But once again, after 60, the question is not simply, is broccoli healthy? The question is, how does broccoli fit into your medications, your routine, and your body now? Like spinach, broccoli contains vitamin K, and that matters a lot if you take certain blood thinners. The real risk is not usually broccoli by itself. The bigger problem is inconsistency. One week, you decide to eat super healthy, so you pile your plate with broccoli every day. The next week, your routine changes and you eat none. That kind of swing can matter more than people think, and this is where a lot of seniors make mistakes without realizing it. They think a healthy food cannot possibly interfere with anything. But medications do not care whether the food sounds healthy. They care whether your intake is stable or not. The safest move is simple. Keep your broccoli intake moderate and consistent. Do not go from extreme to extreme. If broccoli is part of your routine, let it be part of your routine in a predictable way. And if you are on anticoagulant therapy, be honest with your doctor about how you actually eat, not how you think you should eat. That matters. Broccoli can absolutely continue to support your health, but after 60, it works best when it is part of a stable pattern, not a sudden burst of perfect eating followed by chaos. Vegetable number 7, romaine lettuce. A light salad at dinner sounds like one of the healthiest choices imaginable. Low calories, fresh, clean, easy to digest. And in some cases, it is a perfectly fine option. But for many older adults, a large raw salad late in the evening is not always the smart choice people assume it is. Here's why. After 60, many people become more vulnerable to dehydration without noticing it. Thirst signals are weaker. Some people are already drinking less than they should. Others are on blood pressure medication, diuretics, or other treatments that affect fluid balance. Then they finish the day with a very light meal that looks healthy but does not leave the body especially stable overnight. The issue is not that romaine lettuce is dangerous. The issue is that a dinner built mostly around raw greens may be too light, too low in protein, too low in overall nourishment, or poorly timed for some older adults. It may leave them underfed, underhydrated, uncomfortable, or restless during the night. And the next morning, they feel weak, dizzy, or drained and have no idea why. That is why timing and structure matter. If you love romaine lettuce, great, keep it. But consider having it earlier in the day or as part of a more complete meal. Add protein, add healthy fats. Make sure hydration is handled. If you eat greens at night, do not let that meal be nutritionally hollow just because it looks clean. Romaine can still be part of a heart-smart routine. But after 60, the goal is not eating light for the sake of eating light. The goal is eating in a way your body can actually use. Vegetable number 6, raw carrots. Carrots are often treated as one of the safest foods possible. Crunchy, convenient, low in calories, and associated with eye health and antioxidants. Overall, carrots are a solid food. But once again, context matters. The problem is usually not the carrot itself. The problem is how many seniors eat foods like carrots. A handful of raw carrots by themselves late at night. A very simple carb-based snack without protein or fat. Something small that seems healthy but is not actually balanced. And for older adults with prediabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, or unstable blood sugar, that pattern can create more trouble than expected. When blood sugar rises and then drops too quickly, the body can respond badly overnight. Sleep may become lighter. Stress hormones may rise. The person wakes up shaky, uneasy, drained, or mentally foggy. They may not connect it to the snack at all, because after all, it was just carrots. That is why the better approach is not elimination, it is pairing. If you want carrots, pair them with something that slows the response. Hummus, yogurt, nuts, a source of protein or healthy fat. And earlier in the day is often easier than late at night. Carrots are not the enemy, but after 60, even healthy foods can create problems when they are eaten in an unbalanced way. The food matters, yes, but the pattern matters just as much. If this video has been helpful so far, take a moment to like the video. It helps more seniors find information like this. And subscribe to Senior Vital Health for more practical guidance on how to stay sharp, steady, and independent as you age. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How old are you? Where are you watching from? And which of these vegetables do you eat the most often? I read the comments and they help me understand what topics older adults care about most. Vegetable number 5, garlic. Garlic has been respected for centuries as one of nature's most powerful healing foods. It has been linked to heart support, immune support, and anti-inflammatory benefits. But after 60, garlic becomes one of those foods that can blur the line between helpful and risky, especially when supplements enter the picture. Cooking with garlic in normal amounts is one thing. Taking concentrated garlic capsules, extracts, or large medicinal doses is something else entirely. Garlic contains compounds that may affect how blood clots, and that matters if you are already taking medications like aspirin, anticoagulants, or antiplatelet drugs. That is where the trouble starts. A person hears that garlic is good for the heart, so they take more. Then they combine it with medication and never think twice about it. But the body does not always reward that logic. Sometimes it responds with more bruising, nosebleeds, headaches, fatigue, or other signs that blood-thinning effects may be stacking up too far. The smarter move is restraint. Use garlic in food unless your healthcare provider specifically advises otherwise. Be cautious with concentrated supplements. And if you notice unusual bruising, bleeding, headaches, or changes that seem off, do not ignore them. Garlic can still be a valuable part of a healthy diet, but after 60, it needs to be treated with the same respect you would give anything else that may affect circulation and clotting. Natural does not mean harmless. It means it needs to be understood. Vegetable number 4, onions. Onions are packed with flavor and valuable plant compounds. They're associated with antioxidant benefits and can absolutely belong in a healthy diet. But for older adults, onions are one of those foods that may not cause dramatic problems every time, yet still contribute to issues many people fail to connect back to dinner. Large amounts of raw onion can be hard on the digestive system. For some seniors, they can worsen reflux, cause stomach discomfort, trigger bloating, or disturb sleep. That may not sound serious, but poor sleep after 60 has consequences. When sleep quality drops, blood pressure, energy, mental clarity, balance, and hydration habits often suffer the next day. In some people, onions may also feel overly stimulating or irritating when eaten in large amounts late in the evening, especially combined with heavy meals. That is when a vegetable that seems harmless starts becoming part of a larger chain of problems. Discomfort at night, poor rest, feeling off in the morning, eating poorly the next day, and falling into a pattern that weakens the body over time. The safer approach is simple. Use onions as part of meals, not as the dominant feature of a heavy late-night plate. Cooked onions are often easier to tolerate than raw onions. Smaller portions are often better than overload. And if you notice reflux, restlessness, or morning discomfort after onion-heavy dinners, pay attention to the pattern instead of dismissing it. Onions are still useful, but after 60, healthy is not just about nutrients. It is also about tolerance, timing, and how your body actually feels afterward. Vegetable number 3, corn. This one surprises a lot of people. Corn is usually placed in the vegetable category, but metabolically, it behaves much more like a starch. And after 60, that distinction matters more than many seniors realize. Corn on the cob, corn soup, grits, cornbread, cornmeal, processed corn cereals. These foods may sound simple and harmless, but in many older adults, they can push blood sugar up faster than expected, especially when eaten alone or in large portions. If you already have insulin resistance, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or unstable energy, corn is one of those foods that may be working against you while still looking innocent on the plate. That is the danger. It feels like a vegetable, so people treat it as if it does not count. But the body may respond more like it would to a starchy carbohydrate. Blood sugar rises, energy shifts, appetite becomes less stable. And if this happens repeatedly, it can contribute to a larger picture of poor vascular health over time. Now, that does not mean corn must disappear forever. It means it should be handled honestly. Treat it more like a starch than a free vegetable. Pair it with protein. Pair it with fiber. Pair it with healthy fats. Do not build meals around it too often, and avoid using it as a late-night comfort food if your blood sugar is already unstable. Corn can still have a place in your diet, but after 60, it should be eaten with awareness, not nostalgia alone. Vegetable number 2, asparagus. Asparagus has the image of a clean, elegant, very healthy food, and in many ways, it is. It provides nutrients, fiber, and compounds that support overall health. But for older adults, asparagus is another example of a food whose effect depends heavily on timing and hydration. Asparagus has mild diuretic properties. In simple terms, it may encourage your body to release more water. In younger adults, that is often not a major issue. But after 60, it can matter a lot more. Many seniors are already walking a fine line with hydration. Some drink less than they need. Some take medications that affect fluid balance. Others wake frequently during the night to use the bathroom, which disrupts sleep even further. So when asparagus shows up in a late dinner without enough hydration, it may quietly add to a bigger problem. Overnight dehydration, poor sleep, morning lightheadedness, weakness, that off feeling that people blame on age, when sometimes it is the cumulative result of small choices repeated over and over. The better move is simple. Enjoy asparagus earlier in the day when hydration and activity are stronger. Pair it with water and a balanced meal. Be more cautious if you take diuretics, blood pressure medication, or have kidney concerns. Asparagus is still a healthy food, but after 60, timing is part of nutrition. You cannot separate the two anymore. Vegetable number 1, tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of the most widely accepted healthy foods in the world. Fresh, colorful, versatile, and rich in compounds like lycopene. But for many older adults, tomatoes are also one of the most misunderstood foods when it comes to how they are actually tolerated. The biggest issue for many seniors is not that tomatoes directly cause stroke. The bigger issue is that tomatoes can worsen reflux, stomach irritation, discomfort, poor sleep, and in some cases, complicate potassium control for people with kidney problems. When eaten in large amounts at night, especially in acidic sauces or heavy meals, tomatoes can leave some older adults feeling much worse than they realize. And here is what makes them tricky. The symptoms may not feel digestive. They may feel like chest discomfort, restlessness, burning, headache, disturbed sleep, or just a vague sense that something is wrong. Some people wake up feeling shaky or drained and never connect it to the tomato-heavy dinner they had the night before. For those with kidney disease, tomatoes may also matter because potassium balance can become more important. Again, not for everyone, but enough for it to deserve caution. The smarter approach is moderation and timing. Cooked tomatoes may be easier for some people than large, raw, acidic servings. Heavy tomato-based meals right before bed are often harder on the body than moderate portions earlier in the day. If you know tomatoes trigger discomfort, do not force the issue just because they are considered healthy in general. Tomatoes can still be part of a good diet, but after 60, your body's response matters more than the food's reputation. After hearing all 9 of these, some people make the wrong conclusion. They think, so now vegetables are bad for me? No, that is not the message at all. The real message is this: after 60, the body becomes less forgiving. That is the truth. Your kidneys may not filter as efficiently. Your blood sugar may not stabilize as quickly. Your digestive system may react more strongly. Your hydration may be more fragile. Your circulation may not adapt as well. And if you are taking medications, everything gets even more complicated. That means even healthy foods need to be handled with more precision than they did before. It is no longer just about what you eat. It is about when you eat it, how much you eat, what you eat it with, what medication you take, how hydrated you are, and how your body responds over time. That is why two people can eat the exact same meal and have completely different outcomes. One feels fine, the other wakes up dizzy, uncomfortable, bloated, restless, or weak the next day. The meal may be identical, the body is not. And that is where real health starts after 60. Not with fear, not with internet panic, with awareness. Because once you understand what your body is doing, you are no longer guessing. You stop assuming that every healthy food is automatically right for you in every amount and at every hour of the day. You start paying attention to patterns. You hydrate more intentionally. You spread out foods more intelligently. You stop overdoing supplements. You take medication interactions seriously. And those small decisions can make a bigger difference than most people realize. That is the encouraging part. You are not powerless. In fact, the more your body changes, the more valuable awareness becomes. A few smarter choices can reduce a lot of avoidable strain. So instead of asking, is this food good or bad? Ask a better question. Is this food right for me in this amount at this time with my current health and medications? That is the question older adults should be asking. And once you do, your diet becomes safer, more effective, and far more personalized. Medical disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Every senior has a different medical profile, especially if you are taking prescription medications or managing diabetes, kidney disease, blood pressure issues, cardiovascular disease, or digestive problems. Always speak with your doctor, pharmacist, or qualified healthcare provider before making major dietary changes or adding supplements. Today, we covered 9 common vegetables that older adults may need to approach more carefully: spinach, broccoli, romaine lettuce, raw carrots, garlic, onions, corn, asparagus, and tomatoes. But remember, these foods are not automatically your enemies. In many cases, they can still be part of a healthy routine. The key is knowing your body, respecting timing, managing portion size, staying hydrated, and understanding how food interacts with your medications and overall health. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these vegetables surprised you the most? And have you ever noticed that a healthy meal made you feel worse simply because of when you ate it, how much you ate, or what medication you were taking at the time? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your story may help another senior who is going through the same thing and has not connected the dots yet. If you found this video helpful, like the video and click the super thanks button if you want to support the channel and help us keep making practical, clear, and medically responsible content for older adults. Because what you put on your plate today affects how steady, clear, and strong you feel tomorrow. Stay sharp, stay careful, stay informed, and stay vital. Because aging well is not about pretending your body has not changed. It is about understanding that it has and learning how to work with it intelligently.